There is no end to space, and likewise there is no end to sentient beings. And all these sentient beings throughout space exist within the cause, the afflictions, and the result of suffering. And so we need to free them all, eliminate all of their suffering, eliminate all of their afflictions, and bring them to the state of Buddhahood. So please listen to the empowerment this afternoon, this motivation of bodhicitta. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, there is a way to practice all of the Mahayana sutras and all of the sutras together practice them all together is the conduct of this, is what is in the conduct Tantra. So within the Charya Tantra, the main deity, or the main practice is the Abhisambodhi of Virochana. And so this is the empowerment that I shall confer today. Now, in the past, during the time of the 16th Karmapa Raja, Rinpoche Dorje, Jonathan Rinpoche and I were once in His Holiness's presence, and he told us that the Sakya collection of the ocean of Tantras contains all of the practices in Tibet. And he said that he would send us to receive, to go take these empowerments, but that did not occur at that time. Now, as the Gyalsab has recently said, we need to have the practice of the Charya Tantra in our Kagyu tradition. In the past, during the time of the 6th and 7th Karmapas, there was the practice of the Charya Tantra, and it was a way that they bring great benefit to many sentient beings. So for this reason, I had the opportunity to go receive all of these empowerments in their entirety from the Sakya tradition. And then the 17th Gyalsab told me that I should give this empowerment to the Abhisambodhi of the Kagyu Pula. And the reason is that when during Kagyu Pula, most of the Kagyu Karma are all gathered together. And so if I get the empowerment during this time, then it will spread within the Kagyu. And so it is because the Gyalsab instructed me to do so that I am giving this empowerment. Now, of course, the gyalsab is well known, and in Tibet, among all of the different lamas in Tibet, he is one of the greatest of the lamas. There was the first Karmapa, and then there was the second Karmapa, Karmapakshi. And when he was about to pass away, he decided that reincarnated Lama in Tibet. And so this is the origination of the Karmapa lineage, and there's no doubt that he was no dispute that he was the first reincarnated Guru. And so then all of the Karmapas have come in succession. Many of them have been really extraordinary lamas. They have come and they've always been sustaining or maintaining the teachings of the Karmakaju. It is because of the Karmapas that the Karmakaju originated, and the Karmapa is the head of this lineage. Younger lineages. There's also the Shampakaju and other lineages. And the Karmapas have all really taken care of all of these lineages and done their best to help all of them.
ne du tout pour son sauvé, quand du monde chez moi, et tu y es pour cap ça. Je dis pas que je n'ai pas manché pas. Janjo kama pa yi wang bi jar ko cho ke kalong tar. Sunde logic temba jang jar ja sa mu chi sha na ne. San chi ju di ji ya jar. Ju number nam te number jang chu wang chi. Ham bap zar we ka dong chu jin de sa chi bon de. Jin jo ji na ku zang chu de da. Du source in yon soja hende bindur ji engol jare ke meto laze subiki kolam ke balana jenol kosa jangu chimbo chok gu kaju jawa kaju be jangu jawa ya se namba la so rimi tinji ji ji namba shape se je kachak de jeba jeda 제다 그파자 매매 포도 강나서 라갈 접지 janjo yi wang janjo chimbo cho jabe kajar tinje la chen tin se san kang thang ke je roba thang je tu ju gong ba che yin de ba ta la ka ma ke chu ju kolor ju de sa di karma kar chen zang ling ji hi Duji kama kansang yong je sa ma kong chu je program ke magic single thread chamber ya so tai shi je de ka ma par ku de je tu sam yo de jam yo che se ba ji ye so wa che de de ba ta wa yang so wa ko men da tu je to che men je sa yi de ja sang ye to yue men je na chudra traji ko dege le jar chale pa karma pa de de bin ko de chon tar ku jap chan de ye me de pa pa ra ta ke traji sho de ji de me zo no jang bu ja ku je to da ni chan de sum ba cha na to je me so so do cho ba don zo de no je ba chen mo ja ja ta tong ko je de mo je cho da jab je bo gan cho do ro je jab je bo gan khe ro je cho ko ku lao so lo to te pe ma da jab ne hin cho ko to de ba jab se ja pe na ban to ba chi dong to ne jo do je de ka ye mo man chen mo te ye je be do de su chu kam de ti jo ji nam chu de de cho ro je ni ko cha ni mo na che pe gan de do so cha mo so thong ni de ni ji ku da ko to mo ni ko so ku cha da je de ke so de do they are feeling you the directive part of what they come to die in by only the and they the truth not knowledge to know to some only jango jaro or something is what you go to you did to the part jaro the such a come up for the internet to jaro with the joke that you jaro ya say nanda this magic things in the Ganga so you are something which is in the Jabata जेते जे काम न सने मो चुजु जुटी जे पासो निदि जे पसा माने जेते रोको देजी जोदि सब पाला युता न जे पासो ने जे दो मिते देंदे जेबदा एवं युनि कोर जुरे लोमी लेनि कोर जुरे एरा ने कोर जुरे निता ने कोर जुरे ओनि चिनि कोर जुरे इंजे Kili Sadar ne Gorjure, Kama Kondi ne Gorjure, Yurilipi ne Gorjure, Siti ne Gorjure, Kama Mohanzamu ne Gorjure, Indi Suja ne Gorjure, Leitu Jeki ne Gorjure, Shinji ne Gorjure, Chongshu me ne Gorjure, Lin Fan ne Gendure Chanti Gori, Yepchu Yepchi ne Jep Wakang Yeyang. Zongji naam में नमोना चाहते बोल सुनो से ने देवा बातों सब को नंबर के चेतो नमोन के बोल चिक चिक तो से ने ये जंका में तो ने चेतो ताम पासा नाम में नमोन के तो बोल नीचे ताव जी नो बोला जो चों के yang नाम में बोल चिक चिक तो चोंगा नाम में बोल ये तो ना के सोना बन के बोल ये तो ना के नाम में बोल सुनो करसन सोना नाम में बोल ये तो 직동나 세례는 너무 lep자는 걸 니동 니자 체제 소남 가디기 제도 직동 체력 양기 나오는 걸 직동 스타트 체력 나오는 걸 직동 체력 돌아 나오는 걸 직동 소남 나오는 걸 직동 지구를 걸 직동 결혼 나오는 걸 직동 까마 산대는 걸 직동 까마 पेमा ट्राइसी श्रीभर नामी ने बोलते कोना क्या कामानों सामने बोलते तो किसी कुमार उठी आदि बोलते तो नंबर नामी ने बोलते तो वे तो चुनु करसान लाचों का नामी ने बोलते तो जमसी शुंबा नामी ने बोलते तो ना क्या लामा लावान ने बोलते शो चुटी जमता नामी ने बोलते तो ना क्या कामा जर सामने बोलते तो आमा ट्राइसी नामी ने 니동 세대 인지 부정기 제도 공무주도 걸 오남 제도 걸 나체 처음에도 걸 나도 망제도 걸 직접 하면 로상 내도 공무주도 걸 니체다 세대 간증주도 공무주도 걸 니동을 아마 자주 타세는 오남 제도 장대 걸 직접 나도 타고 그외에 까마바다 장공 도제창 나니를 가져 자와야 세도 부제도 제제 받아 또 파만 대소 탐정제도 공무점용으로 도제 나오는 거기도 까마 소나 나오는 거기도 체제 가르치도 모모주도 거기도 남자 제포주 좋아하나 우선 도도나 대대기도 좀 동물적인 세계에서 같이
Now with the Tantra of the Abhisambodhi of Erochna, the reason why, or the way in which this Tantra is superior to other Tantras is, as it is said, that the root is great compassion. And so, of course, within all of these sutras and Tantras of the Mahayana, there are practices of great compassion. However, among them all, within the Abhisambodhi of Erochna, there are greater methods and power for being able to have great compassion. Now the Buddha also said in the Tantra that the cause is bodhicitta. So by bodhicitta, here we mean the bodhicitta when you have achieved the bodhisattva levels. In particular, once you have achieved the first bodhisattva level, and the bodhicitta at that time is ultimate bodhicitta. So here it's say the cause is bodhicitta, or the ultimate bodhicitta. Now, this ultimate bodhicitta is the Dharma nature. It is the ultimate truth. It is Buddha nature. And in our Kagyu tradition, it is the Mahamudra of the nature. Now, within this bodhicitta, that is the nature of how things are. There is the transcendent prajna. There is the cause of bodhicitta. There are samadhis. And so all three of these are naturally, spontaneously present within it. And so this bodhicitta is often compared to a moon. It's compared to the crescent moon on like the third day of the Tibetan month. And this is a really thin crescent. It's as thin as a thread. So this is what it is like. And so this bodhicitta is like just a really tiny sliver, a tiny piece of the completely perfect Dharmakaya, all of the qualities of the Buddha. Not only does it have a portion of the qualities of the Dharmakaya, also according to the Tantra tradition, it also has the capacity to produce the form kayas with the 32 marks of the Buddha. And so this must be increased and developed by the means. It needs to be gradually increased and developed, and it needs to be made to increase. And in order to manifest this, in addition to the sutra practice of the six transcendents as we described yesterday, there's also, in addition, there is the practice of mudras. Now these are mudras with the hands. These mudras are ways to manifest some of the different of the 32 major marks. They're a method to do this. So by doing them, meditating on them, they're a way to manifest the 32 marks. And then there are also the mantras, and reciting the mantras also has the power to produce the 32 marks. And then there is also the samadhi, and the samadhi is two types. There is the referential samadhi, or the samadhi of the attributes, which is meditating on the bodies and the body of the Buddha, as well as the mandalas, which are by nature form. And then there is also the samadhi without attributes, which means meditating on the nature of how things are. It's a way of meditating on the ultimate nature of how things are. Now, of course, all of the tantras are causes for developing all of the qualities of, or all the body of the Buddha, all the marks of the Buddha. But this tantra is a superior cause for developing the 32 marks. And so by practicing this, just as the moon waxes over days, so that on the full moon day is a completely full moon day, likewise there is the realization of the dharma nature on the first level that increases into the realization of the dharma kaya. Speak consciously mind. So this way we can accomplish the body, speech, mind. And so here by the body we mean Vairocana with the nature of four kayas. So primarily here the main deity is Vairocana with the four kayas. Now the mandala is actually a combination of three mandalas. So there is one mandala, within that there is another, and then within that one there is a third. So there are three mandalas that are contained in each other. And so the principal deity is Vairocana. And to its east is the Dharmakaya. And so the Dharmakaya is a white Dharma source. And on top of that, there is a white Vajra with 5 points that radiates light. And so this Dharma source and Vajra represent the Dharmakaya. Now with Vairocana, there is one form of Vairocana that is called the Vairocana of the ocean of glaciers. And so this is the body of Vairocana that within it contains all of the Buddha realms, all of the realms. And so within each pore of Vairocana, there are all the Buddha realms. And so in this way, there is one form, one kaya that contains all of the different universes and realms. And so this is the Vairocana, the ocean of glaciers. And this Vairocana, the ocean of glaciers, is sitting with his hands in the mudra of equipoise, the meditation posture. And stacked within his palms are 25 world realms. And so the 13th of these is our own world realm, the Saha. And there is also a Sambhogakaya form that is continually teaching the Dharma. And so this Vairocana is a Sambhogakaya form. So there are two different forms here. There is one that is pervaded by all the different realms, and there is the other that is in one teaching Dharma. Now the Vairocana of this Embodiment of Vairocana is this one Vairocana who's filled or permeated by all of the different universes. Now, in the second mandala, the main deity, the principal deity, is the Buddha Shakyamuni in the Nirmanakaya. And he is surrounded by many emanations, many Nirmanakayas of the Shakyamuni Buddha, who are in various different ways, bringing through different methods, benefiting sentient beings. And so the third mandala, the principal deity is called the giving the greatest, or giving the boon. And this is actually a form of manjushri, but he takes a slightly different form. In his right hand, he is holding a utpala flower, and his body is golden in color. And he is surrounded by many Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya Buddhas who are all listening to the Dharma. They are all joining their palms and listening to the Dharma. And so, to sum it all up, within these mandalas of the Abhisambodha Virachata, there are 122 deities. And then around these 122 deities, there are innumerable other deities. Their names are not mentioned, but there are all these innumerable deities around them. So to brief, this is a mandala that is by nature the Dharmakaya, the Sambhogakaya, the Nirmanakaya. This is by nature this is a mandala that is in nature the four kayas. So it's by meditating on this mandala there's also a mandala of ultimate bodhicitta. This is what we are to manifest, and that is again something that is present at the first bodhisattva level, and then is increased. And in order to achieve this, we need to have faith in the Dharma. We need to have the wish to rouse sentient beings. We need to have samadhi, and if we have the samadhi, then it is meaningful. That means that it will produce a result, that we know how to do the meditation. And so in this way, the function of these mandalas is to manifest the ultimate bodhicitta. Now, while I was doing the preparations of practice for the empowerment, I was meditating on the mantra western direction. And so in this way, he is facing the west, and the gates to the east, south, and north of the mandala are all closed. The one to the west is open. And also the colors of the different gates to the palace and the mandala are different than in other tantras. The eastern gate is red, the southern gate is yellow, the western gate is green, and the northern gate is black. And so he is facing to the west, to the green western gate. So for this reason, when we prepared the mandala, we oriented it differently than we normally do, so that the western green gate is towards the front. And when we give the empowerment in front of this mandala, in front of this palace, there's a smaller mandala, and this mandala only has one gate. That gate is facing towards the other mandala, so that it's facing the gate of the western gate of the other mandala. And so this is the same colors. The east is red, the south is yellow, the west is green, and the north is black. So it's the same with the open gate, the western green gate. And so when I give the empowerment, then we need to take the vows and purify and confess our misdeeds, and then we need to sit in the mandala. And I will describe this all as we go through it. Now the Abhisambodhi of Virojana is an extraordinary way to develop compassion. There is the Kadamba lineage of old. There are many geshes in the Kadamba tradition who primarily meditated on bodhicitta and compassion. And they also meditated quite a bit on this practice, the Abhisambodhi of Virojana, because it is a superior way to develop compassion. And so they all wanted to rouse compassion, so they primarily did this practice. And so, because of the meditation on compassion, bodhicitta, you can recognize the nature. This is what we in the Kha tradition call recognizing the essence of mind, the nature of mind. Now, the Kagyu tradition of Mahamudra, when we're pointing out the mind, and we talk about is the mind inside or outside, what color does it have, what shape does it have. And all of the words that teach this are also within this Avisambodhi of Virosha. We also talk about how we let the mind pass. We also talk about how we let the mind rest. We let the mind rest without following the past or following thoughts of the future or following thoughts of the present. And so this text is also in the Avisambodhi Virosha. So the 6th, 7th, and 8th Karmapas also really emphasized this practice of the Avisambodhi Virosha. And I think that this is one main reason why. As the translator said in the song, he went to India and he followed many gurus, including Naropa and Madripa, and he learned all of the tantras, and then he took the essence of all of these and brought it to Tibet. And so in this way, Mahamudra, the essence of the Avisambodhi Virosha is present within it. Even if the words are not directly said, the essence is present. And so, in the ultimate nature here, first, when we enter the samadhi, and then we meditate on it, we rest in the samadhi, and then we eventually arise from the samadhi. And when we arise from the samadhi, we are meditating on compassion. So we enter while meditating on compassion and arise from it while meditating on compassion. So it's a different way of explaining it than in other tantras. This tantra was taught in the past by innumerable Buddhas of the past. The present was taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni, and in the future it will also be taught by many Buddhas to a pure retinue. Now, as far as the first taught by Rinpoche, who was the nature of the four kayas to Manjushu. And so this was taught by Manjushu to Sezare Jali Namgyal, or victorious over enemies. And this was taught, and Zetari taught it to a Lama named in Tibet, Dorje Jempa, who was a great, or Bodhgaya, who, at that time, there was a great Dharma center here at Bodhgaya, and this is one of the lamas there. And so it started in Bodhgaya, and then spread to Tibet, and now it's coming back to Bodhgaya. This is wonderful. Now, in Tibet, there was the early transmission and the later transmission. So during the earlier ancient transmission, when King Jisung Densen was building the temple of Samye, there was an Indian Pandita named Buddha Goya. Now, there are many different mandalas of the Abhisambodhi of Rinpoche, and I think that they all spread at that time. Now, with the spread of the teachings, there had been a time when the teachings were persecuted, and they were nearly destroyed or extirpated. And so, at that time, this practice basically disappeared. So during the later spread of the teachings, there was a translator named Bari, the translator, who went to India and then brought this tantra back to Tibet. And then these teachings spread widely among the Kadamba gurus. There are many Kadamba masters that spread widely among them. And then it was eventually transcended to the master, the younger very learned in all of these sutras and tantras, and he was particularly well versed in these and all of the practices of the secret mantra. So it was passed down to the initial Buddha Rinpoche. And then it was passed down to present day to the Sakya Chicha Rinpoche, whom I actually met the other day. He is currently in Bodhgaya.
to 到